everyone. Jumping into AI and education today, and wow, is there a lot of hype around it or what?
It's definitely a hot topic.
You send over this brand new article just out today, actually, from Nitra Kumar Manendar. Artificial Intelligence in Education, AED, Buzzwords and Their Usage on Learning. October 14th, 2024. Today's the day.
Very timely.
So we're ditching the buzzwords today and really digging into what's actually useful, especially for you listening. No hype, just the good stuff.
Sounds like a plan. It's all about figuring out what's truly transformative and what's just a flash in the pan, right?
Exactly. And one of the biggest things that seems to be changing is this whole idea of personalized learning. I mean, who didn't zone out in school sometimes because the pace was just totally off?
Totally. That one-size-fits-all model, never really fit anyone perfectly.
Right. But picture this. A classroom where what you're learning adjusts to you, like in real time. That's what platforms like Dreambox are doing for math.
Dreambox is a great example, yeah. It's like having a tutor right there in the software, seeing how you're doing and changing things up as you go.
So you're acing algebra, bam, tougher problems. But exponents got you stuck. It slows down, maybe throws in some extra practice, until you've got it.
Exactly. And it's not just about easier or harder. You get personalized feedback, little hints to guide you without just giving you the answer.
Okay, that makes sense for math. There's a right answer there. But what about, like, writing? That's more subjective, right? How does AI handle that?
That's where those intelligent tutoring systems come in, or ISIS. They're not just grading you, they're trying to figure out why you're struggling.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How do they do that?
Take Carnegie Learning. They've got this AI tutor for chemistry. You get stuck, it doesn't just say wrong. It's like, okay, let's break this down. Here's a hint, and here's why, based on what you've already shown us you know.
So it's like a tutor who can actually see where your knowledge gaps are and tailor their explanations to you.
Exactly. That kind of feedback can be so helpful, especially if you're the type who doesn't like asking for help in class.
I can see that. It's like having a personalized study buddy, but without the awkwardness. So we've got AI personalizing lessons, giving feedback, but it also changes how we look at student data, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Learning analytics is huge right now. Platforms like Khan Academy, they're using AI to track how students are doing, but like in a really detailed way. They can spot struggles early on and even predict if a student's at risk of falling behind.
Wow, so it's not just about the grade at the end, it's about understanding how students learn in real time.
Exactly. And teachers are getting this valuable data so they can see, okay, this concept is tripping everyone up, or this student needs some extra help. It's powerful stuff.
Powerful, but I bet it could be overwhelming for teachers too. That's a lot of data to wrap your head around.
You're right, it's a fire hose of information.
Yeah.
That's why they're working on making these platforms super user-friendly. So it's about insights, not data overload.
Makes sense. So we've got AI personalizing, giving feedback, analyzing data. Seems like the possibilities are pretty much endless. What else is out there? What else is AI doing in the classroom?
Well, remember all that grading teachers have to do. Mountains of it. AI can help with that, take some of that load off.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, you can't replace teachers.
Exactly. It's not about that at all. It's about making things more efficient. Take those tools you probably already use, Grammarly, Turnitin. They're lifesavers, but finding those grammar errors, checking for originality, that takes time, right? AI can handle that.
So teachers have more time to actually, well, teach. Those are more like editing tools, though. Can AI actually grade things, like essays?
More and more, yeah. Platforms like Elastic are getting really good at it. They can do the multiple choice, fill in the blank, that's a given.
Yeah.
But they're even getting good at those open-ended questions, evaluating critical thinking skills, clarity, all that.
Wow, even the stuff that seems really subjective. I don't know, that's a little
concerning.
yeah, maybe.
And that's why you've always got to have a human in the loop. It's a partnership. AI does the first round, spots issues, but the teacher's still the one making the final call, giving that more nuanced feedback.
So AI enhances what teachers can do, it doesn't replace them. Okay, that's reassuring. What about different learning speeds, though? Some kids are fast, some are slower. Can AI personalize that, too?
Definitely. Competency-based learning is a big one here. Platforms like Codecademy use it. It's all about mastering the skill before you move on. No more fixed deadlines. You progress when you're ready.
Man, I would have loved that. I'm much more of a learn-by-doing person than just sitting there listening to a lecture.
Exactly. And AI can really tailor that. Imagine instead of a guidance counselor being like, you're good at math, They've got these AI tools that really pinpoint your strengths.
Okay, no, that's interesting.
We're talking skill mapping that's so much deeper. It could recommend specific courses, even career paths you might have never thought of otherwise.
Okay, sign me up for that career counseling session. But let's be real, learning doesn't end at 3 p.m. when the bell rings. And that's when I'd always get stuck with homework.
Right, and not everyone's got a tutor on call, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if you had a virtual learning assistant available 24/7, like AI chatbots built right into platforms like Moodle or Canvas, so you're not switching between a million different things.
So I can get help on that tricky math problem at like 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. No need to bug my classmates or wait till the teacher's free.
Exactly, and it's not just about answers. These AI assistants can help with study skills, time management, all that stuff. That's important, but you don't always learn in a classroom. It's like having a personalized coach for your education.
Okay, that would be amazing for students who don't have a lot of support at home, for sure. But, and maybe I'm going off on a tangent here, but sometimes asking a classmate was how I figured things out, you know? Working together, isn't that valuable too? Of course. AI is not supposed to replace that. It's more like it levels the playing field. Not everyone's got a friend who's a math whiz, but AI can provide that baseline support. So when students do collaborate, they're starting from a more even place.
That's a really good point. It's not about isolating anyone, it's about making sure everyone has the tools to succeed on their own and together. Okay, but real talk for a second. We can't just gush about this tech without talking about the downsides. What about privacy? Are these systems always watching, even outside of school?
You're hitting on something really important. Just because we can collect tons of data doesn't mean we should. Transparency is key. Schools, companies, they need to be upfront about what they're collecting and how they're using it. Students and parents need to know so they can have a say.
So responsible data collection, that's huge. What about the actual stuff the AI is using to teach, the content? How do we know it's accurate and not biased? That's where really careful design comes in. You can't just feed an AI any old textbook and expect amazing personalized learning to happen. You need experts involved. Teachers, curriculum developers, people who know their stuff, making sure the content's good, it's engaging, it's age appropriate.
So again, it's not about replacing teachers, it's about giving them better tools to work with. That makes a lot of sense. But what about kids who are all about hands-on learning? Can AI really replicate that?
That's a great question. And while nothing beats real-life experience, AI can make things more interactive, more engaging, even for those hands-on learners. Imagine AI-powered simulations, exploring the human body in 3D virtual chemistry experiments with no risk of explosions.
Okay, now that's the science class I wish I had. But what about things like music? The magic there is in playing together. Can AI even touch that?
Some things really are best experienced with others, no doubt, but AI can still have a role. Imagine practicing your trumpet at home and getting real-time feedback on your pitch, your rhythm, from an AI tutor. Or a kid who wants to write songs using AI tools to play with melodies, harmonies.
It's like giving those individual practice sessions a boost, maybe giving students more confidence to share their stuff when they're ready.
Exactly. And don't forget, AI can connect students with other kids, even mentors, all around the world. Think of online platforms where these kids can work on projects together, share feedback, even play music together virtually.
It's like the classroom expands to include this whole global community of learners. That's amazing. We've been so focused on students, though, we haven't even talked about teachers. How does all this help them?
You're right, we've gotten a bit carried away with all the cool student stuff, but AI has the potential to really change the game for teachers too, and that's something we definitely need to explore.
So we've talked about how AI can help teachers by taking over some of the grading, but it's got to be more than that, right? What else can it do for them?
Oh, absolutely. Think about lesson planning. That takes up a ton of time. And honestly, those cookie cutter templates, they don't always work for every student.
Don't even get me started on those lesson plan books from back in my college days. Ugh.
I feel you. But imagine this. AI steps in, not to take over, but to give teachers a head start, a personalized one. Platforms like IBM Watson, they can look at all sorts of data, how students are doing, how they learn best, what the curriculum says, and they can actually generate a lesson plan.
Whoa, so instead of spending hours flipping through textbooks and scouring the internet, teachers could have AI make a draft that's actually tailored to their students.
Exactly. And then the teacher takes that and runs with it, adds their own flair, their own insights. It's about freeing them up to do what they do best, which is connect with those students and inspire them.
I love that. Okay, but what about when you're in the middle of teaching and a student's just not getting it? The lesson plan can only take you so far, right?
Remember those automated feedback systems we talked about?
Yeah.
The ones that can tell the student's struggling?
Yeah.
Those aren't just for students. Imagine a teacher getting that kind of feedback, like live, while they're teaching.
You mean like they can see if the whole class is lost or if it's just like one kid who's zoning out?
Yeah, they can adjust on the fly, change their approach, give some extra help before things go totally off the rails.
It's like having a co-pilot in the classroom.
Exactly. And it's not just about catching problems early on. AI can also help teachers make their materials way more engaging. So instead of just a plain old textbook, students have these interactive platforms that adapt to them. Picture this: exploring historical timelines in virtual reality, or dissecting a frog, but like in augmented reality, so no actual frogs harmed.
Okay, see, now you're just making me wish I could go back to school. This all sounds incredible. It's like AI can change how students learn and how teachers teach. It's a win-win.
Right. It's about giving teachers the tools and the support to be at the top of their game. And when teachers are at their best, students benefit, everyone benefits.
That's a great point. But we've got to be cautious, right? With all this amazing potential, with AI becoming so ingrained in education, we have to make sure it's being used responsibly.
100%. That's why we need to keep talking about these things. Data privacy, making sure AI isn't biased, and always having a human involved in the important decisions.
Absolutely. Technology should never replace good teaching, but it can be an incredibly powerful tool when used thoughtfully and ethically.
Exactly.